impeaching a president or having the investigation to impeach a president is not anything to be joyful about. I don't know that anybody's joyful, but it is a sad time. And as you've heard me say over and over again, the dark days of the revolution, Thomas Paine said, the times have found us. We think the times have found us now. Not that we place ourselves in the category of greatness of our founders, but we do place ourselves in a time of urgency on the threat to the Constitution, a system of checks and balances that is being made. They fought for our independence. They declared independence. They fought and won. They established a democracy. Thank God they made the Constitution amendable so it could always ever be expanding freedom. And we see the actions of this president being an assault on the Constitution. Once we had his even admission to that, we had no choice but to go forward. It's hard. We want to weigh the equities. We want to be fair as we go forward. And we couldn't be better served than by the leadership of our chairman of the Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, and my honor to present it to you now. At the same time, we're hoping that we can renew our conversations about infrastructure, building the infrastructure of America. As I've said, our agenda last year when we ran was for the people. Lower the cost of health care by lowering the cost of prescription drugs. That's what we're doing. Build the infrastructure of America in a green way so that we can increase paychecks, lower health care, bigger paychecks, cleaner government. Well, I think that we can work with the administration on prescription drugs. I hope so. And infrastructure. I hope so. Clean government. That's more of a challenge. And so as we gather here today, we are clearly at a place where we are legislating to try to meet the needs of the American people in a transformative way. We are investigating. We are litigating. We also are here today on the one-year anniversary of the Khashoggi, since Khashoggi was killed. It's such a very sad thing. And at the same time, you see the administration schmoozing with the very people who perhaps orchestrated that. Again, yesterday the Chinese observed their 70th anniversary. At the same time, the president was very positive about that. Well, observing their anniversary is one thing, praising them for it is another when they have serious repression going on right now in China, whether it's undermining the cultural language and religion of Tibet, whether it's placing in education camps 1, 2, or 3, depending on the cost, but at least 1 million Uyghurs, and whether it's the suppression of democracy in Hong Kong and just the violation of human rights throughout China. It's the same fight we've been having for years. For what does it profit a man or a country if he gains the whole world and suffers the loss of his soul? But we seem to be able to ignore the shout-out from our soul on respecting the dignity and worth of every person. So I know many of you are here. Some of you are regulars. Many of you are not. And I said to Mr. Schiff, maybe you should come to all of our meetings. We might get some coverage for what we're trying to do for the American people. But we are very proud of the work of our chairman of the Intelligence Committee.
The entire House of Representatives through this very fraught time in the history of the Congress, indeed the history of the country. I also want to express my own condolence once again to the family of Jamal Khashoggi, who bravely sought to advocate for free expression in Saudi Arabia, and it cost him his life. We are deeply in his debt, and we are determined to bring about justice for those who were responsible for that heinous murder. It's also an appropriate time to recognize the danger facing journalists all over the world. In terms of the issues that we've been focused on this week, I want to give you a brief update of what has transpired really just within the last week. Last Thursday, the Intelligence Committee held an open hearing with the Acting Director of National Intelligence, The following day, Chairman Engel issued a subpoena to the State Department in close consultation with myself and Chairman Cummings. We are deeply concerned about